Name's Phillip Adams. Work out of Philadelphia. Been there for about 13 years. A lot of my work stems from ideas. So might be a gesture of an idea, might be a big theme. And once I kind of hone in and question and harness around that, the work starts to take form. A lot of the material that I end up using is around charcoal, and I love just the materiality of it, of just using carbon to draw with carbon, the connection to the actual, to an element. Using of charcoal, it's a fragile, delicate material to use, and I love the balance of trying to control it, but also, in particular working with the murals, it's, just creating washes. It's just a bit of like an organized chaos of like just tones, and so kind of working and creating a feeling and scene that links the material of it, but also the subject matter of it. And so within this particular project too, it's thinking about that beauty, that the unknown of what used to be, especially related to the Appalachian Mountains, 400 plus million years ago. It's wild to think about it. It puts you in your place immediately. Yeah, so approaching this was, I've spent quite a bit of time in the Appalachian Mountains just hiking along it. So I was just thinking, it's the oldest mountain range in the United States. They're the grandfather mountains. It's like just rolling hills in a lot of ways. But they're also they used to be as high as the Rockies, if not higher. The entire geological aspect of them is just awe-inspiring. So started to think about it. It's one of the things I've always thought about, just hiking through it. The age of them, and so that evolution, or like that kind of expanse of time, was something that was just really intriguing, especially like linking up some of the ideas of history and our place in it. I knew that there was something beyond the precipice on the top of that little rock, and it's like, what's something that kind of teeters in that place? Something I would want to sit on or be in, something that feels a little bit of I think the sublime, that overwhelming, that awe-inspiring beauty and terror at the same time. Yeah, so the rocking chair came as an idea of just thinking about like that kind of, I don't know, my parents have one, it's like the place where you just sit, you just let air breathe, you just like back and forth, that's it. And it felt like a simple gesture of just waiting and experiencing and taking a pause. Yeah, one of the things I've been struck by most is how much people, when they're walking by, seeing the process, stop and look, like really deeply look. It's not just kind of like a surface glance and talk, and some of it might be because some of this is new and kind of it's experience unto itself. It's monumental, like a mural in a town this size. It's monumental. Like it's not something that's just like becomes a part of the landscape of like a sprawling, urban setting. It's like it becomes a place unto itself. Just thinking about the space itself and like, the town itself. It's like, so it becomes, I feel that immense amount of like monumentality of doing something that's like, right on King Street, and King Street isn't that long either, and it's like, I just did a piece that is a part of this town. I just left myself, like a part of myself, like in a town that's, not that long, it's like not that big, and it's incredible. Like it gives that sense of like importance to it even more, which is pretty powerful. Yeah, I think it's huge. Like the conversations with pretty much everybody have been huge, and specifically like talking with a lot of the kids, like there's a couple like school group kind of groups that came in and like talking to, and it was like the curiosity of what you're doing was amazing, but the excitement around it, and also within them just learning about art was was a pretty beautiful moment for me. You were just like, yeah, budding artist everywhere. And so, whether it ends up being like, actually doing art and, painting and drawing, sculpture, like whatever else, public art, it's like the curiosity part of things. Like the wonder is like, I mean, that's what stokes the fire in any of it, So I think that's the part where like whatever, it's just exciting to see like that enthusiasm, and that just leads to great things. So art sometimes feels like it's not accessible to some people because there's like this, you think you need to have like a deep knowledge about something to engage within it, and it's like, or just kind of like approach to it. You might not be well versed in it, or like have seen a bunch of other artists, or even necessarily understand it. So I think, like especially like contemporary and modern art, it's like there's a certain disjunct between like conversation, and the reality is like it's not, because all you need to do is start like asking questions around it, be curious about it. And so I think some of that is just like leads to like the conversations, because people, and it's some of it is like the boldness of the individual who wants to actually ask the question, and then also knowing that it's okay to ask questions about it. I feel like there's an aspect of like, especially when something is happening, a mural, like, I mean, it's pretty incredible, but there's already like, like because this is like happening, there's like something in the air, and it invites conversation. And some of it can be challenging and divisive. Some of it can be like incredibly, supportive and encouraging. But what it's end up doing is like, people working stuff out. And as long as like people are open and like communicating in that way, it fosters, an arc. And so you hope that arc goes upwards, and it's like, but yeah, and it's pretty incredible to see it in a town like Strasburg.
¿Está cerrado? ¿Está cerrado? ¿Está cerrado?